bit of a different year in the sense there's history being made on the weekend, and it's rare that the Adelaide Football Club's men's team be pushed into the shadow, particularly something within ours. How are you guys finding all that? How do you feel about it?
No, it's fine, mate. Like, it's not a burden at all. I think it's very exciting for, the women's competition starting up, and I know that, all the boys have taken interest in the girls and what they're doing, and vice versa. They, are very interested in, the way we train and stuff, and we've seen them outside watching us, and, we get to see them. The schedules are pretty different in terms of they work and then they come later in the afternoon when we're sort of here all day. So, but we do get to see them around the traps a bit, and they come in and we say hi, and we've obviously seen them out at training. So good luck to them on the weekend, and I'm sure they're very excited and ready to go.
So how different is it to wake up in the morning, pick up the paper and see a picture of the Crows, which is not men's related, or turn on the TV news at night and the interviews with a Crows woman rather than a Crows man?
No, I think it's it's different for a start. Obviously it's a fresh new thing coming in, but as I said, it's very exciting for them, and us as a club should have 3 teams representing the Crows. So we're obviously very excited for them to start playing and representing the club.
Is it nice not having the spotlight on you so much in February?
Yeah, it's a bit different. Yeah, it's also nice, although there's not too much happening around the AFL at the moment in terms of we're pretty much just training all the time. So I'm sure it will swing back our way a bit when our games start. But it's their first round this week, and they deserve the spotlight in terms of them getting ready and get ready to play actual home and away season.
As much as your schedules are different, is there a crossover point which is working to your advantage? Is there anything we imagine they're gaining a fair bit from you guys because you've been doing it for a long time, but is there anything the men are gaining from the women, an understanding of the game or a new appreciation of it?
As I said, it's pretty hard in terms of seeing what they actually do in terms of what they're looking at as a team and going out there executing, etc. on game day, because, as I said, the programs are a bit different. So I think it'd be more a matter of time when we're out there watching their games and seeing what they do, and if we get to go into their change rooms and all that, we'll get to have a bit more of a feel for it. But at the moment it's pretty difficult to have that inside knowledge, but I'm sure they're preparing the best they can.
Okay, on to your program. Last year's pre-season was noted for Don Pike coming in, a new thing, his emphasis very much on skills. Where's he taking it on pre-season number 2?
The first pre-season was very skill-based, and this year it's more on the contest and around the contest, and also position flexibility through our team, and having players be able to play multiple positions and execute game day roles in different spots. And as I said, big emphasis on the contest too. So I feel as though that's an area that we can improve on.
Is there a change in the way he wants you to play?
No, not necessarily. I think there's still been a big skills-based component to the training as well. You've got to have a holistic approach to the pre-season program, but we've just noted some areas that we need to improve on, and obviously we played in the finals last year, but it wasn't the big dance, so we've always got areas to get better at.
So where do you fit in with that flexibility? Will you be spending more time in the midfield?
I've done a little bit with the midfield. Not heaps at the moment, but hopefully, a bit of an increase as it goes into games, and we do a bit more match sim out at training. So hopefully I get a few more minutes there, and it's about looking into that, but also keep honing my craft down back and make sure that I'm up to date with all that's going on, which I am. So it's just a more matter of the team as well in terms of having different players do different positions. So I think a fair few teams in the AFL are looking at that too. So.
Is that something you've asked to do or you've wanted to do, is move into the midfield?
I've done it a little bit, but it was more as a negating role in there. So I think that opened me up to a bit of experience in there. So maybe if I can get in there as a genuine mid and just sort of play the role. But it's not just me. There's plenty of players that I think that's a real strength of ours is the team that we've got can have that flexibility. I think we can go into it and actually execute it pretty well. So.
Well, it's been a week or so since Tales gave the AFL just a little bit of a pat on the back to say, where are you with your negotiations? Has there been any updates with that at all?
So we met with the AFLPA last week, I think it was, and they gave us a rundown. Pretty sure that was just after before Tales spoke here. So they gave us a clear rundown on where they're at and where the AFL is sitting. So we pretty much as a playing group spoke about it with them and said that, we've given the full support of what they're doing and the approach they're taking towards the AFL and the negotiations that they're going through at the moment. So we understand it, and I think the AFLPA are doing the best for us, and they're consulting us on the way through in terms of updating us on what's going on. So as long as they do that and we're happy with it, I think that will be, end up in a result that's beneficial for the players.
So at this stage, the AFL haven't come to the table, and there's been no real progress, so to speak.
No, not that I'm aware of. I don't think.
Or are you playing a part of the field where a free kick is very, very costly? Are you happy with a hit on duckers at the moment, whereby it won't be so easy for them to get a free kick?
On duckers, you say, getting a higher free? Obviously, it's pretty hard to officiate in terms of, the umpire's got a pretty tough task in terms of determining what the player's doing. It's going to be a split-second decision in terms of whether the player's actually dropping down to try and get a free, or is actually the tackler that's made the infringement. So, it's a tough ask to get it right every time, but I'm sure the umpires are doing the best practice and trying to adjudicate it to the best of their ability.
To make it easier as a defender, that there now is going to be a sort of a degree of latitude that they're not going to be so hot on you because there's going to be that benefit of doubt.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's times that you get very frustrated, especially down back. When you see a blatant one where someone ducks into it or lifts their arm up. I think players have got pretty good at finding out ways to exploit that. So if we can miss a few of those due to people doing that, then it's a good rule.
Rory, who's been someone that's really impressed you during pre-season training so far?
Rory Laird sort of come back, and he's always in really good nick. His running patterns and the way that his approach to pre-season in terms of his fitness and the way his body's actually going, he's actually got some continuity in training. So he's had a bad run with the injuries over the past couple of years and actually just staying out the track. So he's been good. There's been a few others too. There's been we've had a lot of numbers out the track, which is really good for us. We haven't had too many injuries. So Curtly Hamden's been going really well. Cam Ellis-Yeoman's training really well too. So but I think just the consistency of everyone out there and actually getting the reps and the minutes in there is really crucial for us to develop as a group.
As we get longer into this pre-season, how are the draftees looking to you?
Yeah, they're looking really good. It's always pretty overwhelming when you come in here and you go from your under 18 program into a full-time program and you work on all that, and then you've got to put our game plan on top of that and what strategies and stuff we do on offense and defense. So the longer they're out there and the longer they're actually getting some minutes out there, the more they get used to it and they get a feel for it and they actually understand what we're doing out there. So no, they're coming along well, and none of them are too injured, or they get modified programs in terms of the PPT staff looking after them. So it's just a matter of them staying out there and learning the game as quickly as possible.
Well, I'm sure you would say you'd play a grand final at 4 a.m, but when the AFL Commission meets to again decide what to do this year, are you a traditionalist at 2:30, or do you want twilight, or do you want a night grand final as a player?
Anytime, Richie. If we're in the grand final, I'll play at any time.
Just getting back to the ducking.
4 a.m. is fine.
But it's an important issue about how to present the game. Everyone's got a view as to what to do, whether it be traditionalist or go with what's modern with twilight or night. You have a grand feel as just a supporter of a person who loves the game.
I think it would work either way. I think a grand final is a grand final. I reckon anyone would rock up at any time of the day. So
is that something that I suppose is tied into the pay negotiations? Because obviously if you have it at twilight or night time, obviously there's an incentive that you might be able to make more money from broadcast rights and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess that's something that the PA will look at too in terms of that. It's kind of hard to comment on it. I'm not really, haven't really thought about that at all. But I dare say a grand final would pull in good ratings no matter what time of the day it is, I reckon. So,
getting back to the ducking, you're one of the shorter players in the league. Do you think you could be in danger now?
I've actually grown a bit over the pre-season, mate. I don't think I've ever actually tried to go out there and actually manoeuvre for a duck. So, but it actually, I do get caught high because I'm not that tall. So, I do think there's been players though that have, manoeuvred their way into getting frees in terms of lifting their arms or, ducking, or not ducking, but, dropping down a bit to sort of get people that are taller than them to wrap their arms around them, which is, credit to them. They get a free kick for it. You may as well try and do it. So I think it would just make it a bit more fair and balanced if the umpires adjudicate that as play on instead of trying to fish out a free kick.
Who do you have to be careful of? Which players you have to be careful of?
Last one, guys.
Oh, there's been a fair few. Don't like to name names, mate. I'll sort of.
Any update on Crouchy? How's he tracking?
Yeah, he's going all right. He should be fine for the JLT series. He's just had a few, setbacks in terms of his body, and he's been sort of ridiculed with a few injuries over the past couple of years. So it's very frustrating for him. But he's very diligent with what he does and his preparation in terms of rehabbing his injuries. So I'm pretty sure the PPT staff are confident that he can get back out there and actually get some game time in before the season starts.
Did he train much today?
I think he had a modified program today. So. I think he was with the rehab group at the moment. So
who's in that? Jenko.
Oh, yeah, update on him.
Well,
guys.
Are you you joke about growing, but are you you look bigger? So are you? Yeah. But,
media guy, you'll be.
Have you actually been working in the gym more and trying to add more bulk to your frame in this pre-season? Has that been a big focus?
I think I've got a bit of a tan at the moment, mate. I think it's fine. I think I'm pretty much the same weight, so I haven't put on too much weight, so I'll take the compliment and finish it at that.